I'm going to show you a picture, 2 pictures really, a before and after. And you will look at the pictures and they will be hard to look at, but then you will hear the story and realize that the pictures are in fact beautiful, profound, and when the story is finished you will believe that no soul is irredeemable and that truly anything is possible. And here it is. This is Ginny Burton, then and now, in the depths of despair, at the height of her glory.
When I look at the photos, it's almost unbelievable. It's like it's another person that I'm looking at. What it means to me is that I feel like I've proven to myself that I'm done. I'm done with the cycles and the patterns that have been so destructive in my life, that I have become a different person, that I am the person that I always was in my heart, but didn't think I was ever going to be able to become.
This is Ginny's story.
I never had a chance. I didn't. I had 2 drug addict parents. I had a mom that was extremely insecure with mental illness. She introduced me to drugs at a really young age. My life started out in violence, and those are the things that became normal to me. And so that's how I navigated life. I never had a chance.
Her mother introduced her to marijuana at age 6, got her using meth at age 12. By 14, she was smoking crack. At 16, she was raped by a man who bought drugs from her mother. By 17, she'd attempted suicide. At 23, she was a full-blown heroin addict. She and a guy named Jack used to find drug dealers who were in the country illegally and robbed them at gunpoint. And on it went, raging chaos, hell-bent on destruction. A year ago, she described it all this way.
When you're stuck on the street and you smell like feces and you haven't showered in forever and you can't make it into a social service agency during working hours because you're too busy trying to feed your addiction, and your addiction is bigger than you, and you've compromised your integrity a number of times over and over and over again, you're starting to be victimized by the people on the streets, you're really not thinking about it. You're hopeless. You can't stand your life. You would rather be dead than alive. I spent most of my addiction wishing that somebody would just blow me away. You know, and I would never wish my story on anybody else, but I'm grateful for the way that mine unfolded, because I think that it's supposed to be the way that it is so that I can reach as many people as possible to let them know that there is a way out.
17 felony convictions, 3 trips to the state prison, and each time she got clean and thought about her life. This picture is from the last time she was in prison, 33 months at the Mission Creek Correction Center for Women in 2009. The last time she was arrested was 2012, and she was tired and numb and finished with it all.
Like, I knew when he put the handcuffs on me and put me in his car, I knew that I was going to be okay. I knew that my life was going to change. And it was then, in that moment, that I made the decision to turn it around, no matter what it took.
She fought to get into drug court in King County, got into a treatment program. She started volunteering and eventually got a job. For 5 years, she worked for Catholic Community Services, serving the homeless and the addicted. She started hiking in 2014, and she felt like it centered her. By 2017, she was climbing seriously. In one 4-week stretch, she summited the 3 highest peaks in Washington. And she started going to school, community college at first, and then she got a scholarship to the University of Washington.
You know, I was entering into a bunch of areas I'd never experienced before. I had a lot of insecurity at first. I was significantly older than the majority of people I was sitting in classrooms with. And I was reading up to 350 pages a week, and in a field I had no understanding of, which is political science. So it's definitely been hard.
She thrived. Life opened up. She made the all-academic team at the UW. She earned awards and more scholarships. And now, at the age of 48, she has graduated with honors and with something else, self-respect.
Oh my gosh, I'm unbelievably proud of myself. So much so that it makes me want to cry. Yeah. And when I look at some of the photos and when I looked at my own graduation photos, I was so proud of myself.
During much of Ginny's triumphs at the University of Washington, her husband, Chris Burton, was incarcerated. He's out now, and clean and inspired.
I see a lot of the things behind the scenes, the hard work that she puts in, her passion, her fire. She really genuinely wants to help people. She wants to see those that are at the bottom rise to the top. And I believe that she will.
The two of them have moved to the small town of Rochester. They're adding an apartment to Chris's grandparents' home. They're happy. Looking back gets rough, and so Ginny Burton looks forward. She'll get her master's at the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance at the University of Washington, and she will dedicate herself to prison reform so that incarceration doesn't just penalize people, it changes people, fixes them.
We're loving people to death. It's not love. It's not love. You know? I'm so grateful I was loved. I am grateful that the Pierce County Sheriff's Department loved me enough to arrest me. I am grateful that the judges in Pierce County loved me enough to incarcerate me. I am grateful that the judges and the Seattle Police Department, I am grateful that they found it in their hearts to incarcerate me, because those incarcerations gave me an opportunity to work myself into changing my life. I learned that I can do anything that I choose to, that I just have to be willing to do hard things. And when I looked at that picture, I realized that I did a whole bunch of hard things. So many times I wanted to quit. So many times it felt like it was too much. And there are some days that I wish that I could just slip away out here with a garden and open up a little cafe. But in reality, I know it's my job. I know that it's my job to continue to create hope.
And so we come back around to those pictures, before and after.
When I looked at those pictures, I realized that I was wrong about myself. I was so wrong. And so that's what it represented for me.
By now, you have come to realize that the pictures of Ginny Burton are, in fact, beautiful, profound. You have heard the story, and maybe you believe now that no soul is irredeemable and that truly anything is possible.